Hey, welcome to episode 32, I almost said 23, episode 32 of the Stress Knits podcast. I am Stacy, also known as Stress Knits on Ravelry and Stacy Elston on Instagram. You can find our Ravelry group at Stress Knits Podcast in Ravelry. All links for all of that stuff will be in the down bar. I'm also the indie dyer behind Stress Knits Yarn. I'm going to stop playing with my pen. So yeah, it's been about 2 weeks since my last podcast. Every time I say that, I laugh because of how Sue from Legacy Knits thinks about confession when they're like, it's 2 weeks since my last podcast. Anyway, so yeah, I feel a little rough about this. Yeah, but we'll see how this goes. So it is October 27th, I think. It is Thursday. It is really rainy and fall-like outside, which I really like, but it's a little rainy. I'd rather it just snow if it was this cold, let's be honest. But yeah, so the lighting is a little weird. I tried it with the lights on, but it completely washed me out. So we're just gonna do it like this, and hopefully it's okay. So a few administrative things before we dive into the podcast, because I have some really cool things to show you that I'm excited about. But we had the Yellow Roses shawl giveaway that helps, that the funds go towards the Mind charity in the UK, I believe. And the winner was number 9, who is Yarn Junkie Mom. So I already sent the pattern to her, so congratulations. And yeah, so I really hope you enjoy the shawl, and just thank you to everybody that participated. Use random.org. It was 2 through 28, and she won, so yay. So there's that, and then also we still have the Just Knit It Cal going. It's going to go through the end of the year, and we had some more prizes come in. So the wonderful dyer at Zapco Yarn, I love her tag, it's really pretty. So Zapco Yarn. One, she has given us a code, I think it's just Stress Knits, and it's 10% off in her shop, so check that out. I'll put the link in the down bar. So her, and don't forget about the bijou bags that I've been showing the last 2 episodes. I think it's been the last, or maybe just the last episode, but that code is good until the end of October. So just make sure you're taking advantage of these codes if you like what you see. And so Zapco Yarn sent 2 skeins. So I'm going to let the winner pick which one they like. And it's in her 80/20 base, both of them, so my favorite kind of sock. And this is, so it's her lightning sock, 400 yards, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And this colorway is Candy Floss. Super, super pretty. Pinks and blues. Some of it turns a little purple. Super pretty. I love this one. It is oxblood in the same base. It's just that perfect red. Gorgeous. So the winner will be able to do that. So all you have to do is just knit something that you're a little intimidated by, you've always wanted to start, you've been saving a yarn. All of the details are in the Ravelry group. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And yeah, so just chatter, post finished objects, post things that you want to start, just do it. It's a lot of fun. I actually started something new for that knit along. I needed to take a break from my La Moyo shawl, so I started something new, which I'm really excited about. But yeah, so a winner will receive one of these skeins of yarn. So look out for that and just join. It's a lot of fun. So I feel a little shaky. I'm gonna put my show notes down so I can read instead of looking down. But I have some finished objects, a half finished object, whips, and a lot of stash enhancement. Like, it's kind of bad. So, grab a beverage. Mine is my pumpkin iced coffee. My go-to in the fall. And yeah, so just get ready. I had a lot of fun this week too, so there's going to be some stories. But let's start with finished objects. I have my Pebble socks, finally. This is a pattern by Mina Phillip. It is the Pebble sock pattern. It is from her Beyond Vanilla Part 1. I'm sorry that side's blown out a little bit. But yeah, so if you can see the texture, it's absolutely gorgeous. There are 2 And the yarn is Gnome Acres Sparkle Gnome in the Garden Gnome colorway, but they remind me a lot of Christmas. So they're my first Christmas pair this year, and I love them. Yeah, so I did, the only modification I made is I did the pattern all the way around instead of just on the front, and because it's the pebble sock pattern, it's not too bad. It's still nice and stretchy. Very, the texture and the, like the stretch and the feel when I wear the sock, I've tried them on, but it feels a lot like Hermione's Everyday Socks, which are one of my favorites. So I highly recommend this pattern. Anything Mina Phillip does is absolutely amazing. So I highly recommend the Beyond Vanilla sock patterns. I need to cast on another one because they're gorgeous. So there are those. They're finally done. I feel like I've had these on the needles forever. Well, I'll do that in a little bit. And then my next finished object is my Cozy Head Happy Head. But I totally messed this up. So if you can see, if you know the Cozy Head Happy Head hat, the cables are much bigger, longer than this. I basically cut each cable in half by accident. I wasn't really paying attention when I knit, apparently. So there are double the amount of cables, but I still really love it. I will knit a true Cozy Head Happy Hat by Hoku Logatelli soon. I also didn't do the tubular bind on. Cast on. It's gonna be a long day, guys. So sorry. But yeah, so I really love this hat. I'll put it on. This, I did not knit this. I just really like that hat. But I really like it. I think it has a decent amount of slouch. It kind of sticks up a lot, but whatever. So I really like it. It's cozy and it makes my head happy. So it's the perfect name. Yeah, I really love it, but I'm having a little bit of a dilemma. So I want to knit something for all of my bridesmaids, and I was gonna do socks, but they all have bigger feet than I have, so their socks are gonna take longer, and I don't have as much knitting time as I used to have with my 2 jobs. So I'm thinking about knitting all of them a hat, and I might use this one as one of them, like this exact hat, and I might do that. So none of them watch the podcast anyway, so, well, one of my friends, Beth Ann, does from time to time when she misses me, which is really sweet. But yeah, so I just need to knit 3 more hats and then I'll be done. And hats, I knit this relatively fast. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do hats with like textured patterns. Like I want to do Mina Phillip's new hat. There's one of them I really, really like. I forget which one it is though. I just realized there's like a VCR. No, it's not VCR. Okay, I'm taking VCR under the couch. I was like, Doug, what are you doing? Anyway, really distracted. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm gonna knit hats and do them in like pretty, very like neutral, so like creams. This is, by the way, this is Malabrigo Rios in the natural colorway. I love Malabrigo Rios for hats. So I think I'm gonna do like creams and grays, maybe like a light blue. Yeah, so that, I think that's what's gonna happen with this, and then I'll knit one for myself. But yeah, so there are those. I finished that stuff in the past 2 weeks. And then I also have a hoe. And so I finished my Pablo the Blowfish sock by, it's just a vanilla sock. It is Voll and Vine yarns in a one-of-a-kind colorway on her Blitz base. And it's gorgeous. So I did a 1x1 twisted rib, heel flap gusset. It's gorgeous. Yeah, I haven't started the second one yet. I was in the mood to cast on a lot of stuff, so I did. Yeah, so that's done also. So next we have some whips. One of them is a little pathetic because, okay, so I'll start with a story now. I got to meet Tabby of the Hey Sister podcast. She was in Michigan visiting some family with her husband and her family, and it was so much fun. We met at a Starbucks halfway between us, and we just sat and we talked and we knit for a few hours, and it was really great. Both of us were a little nervous because we're kind of not the greatest with social interaction, so it was really nice. It was a little awkward at first, just because, you know, like, what do you do when you're meeting somebody that you don't know? But it was awkward for like 2 seconds, and then it was perfectly fine. But while I was there, I was knitting on my Outlander socks. So this is Outlander Wool and Fine Yarn on her blitzed base. Yeah, so I was knitting on these, and I like dropped a stitch or knit something together, and it looked really bad, so I just frogged it, and I'm gonna start all over. Yeah, so then I knit on another sock, which I'll show you in a little bit. But yeah, so I'm knitting these on Knitter's Pride cubic platinas, and I accidentally ordered these, but I really like them. They're the ones with the cube. Instead of being a cylinder, it's a cube, and I love it. And 32-inch cord, my usual, but I'm knitting these now because they're my knitiversary socks. So I will have been a knitter for 3 years, and Wool and Fine Yarn was my first indie dyer, and Outlander was my first colorway, but I got it on the footsie base because that's what she originally dyed it on. And so I got another skein of it for myself a month or two ago. So I'm gonna knit some during the month of November. I'm really excited about it, so that's happening. Before I get into my other whips, I'll finish talking about hanging out with Tabby because it was wonderful. She's a wonderful human being. I'm really sad that we live states away, and I'm sad I couldn't meet Rachel, but she had her son's birthday, so that was really sweet. But I got to say hi to her because she called Tabby, which is really cool. Yeah, but it was so nice. We just had coffee, and just knit, and it was just so much fun being able to sit across from somebody and knit, because I've only done that with family members, my mom and my Aunt Lisa. And so to like meet somebody out and about, it was really cool. Because like I love knitting with my mom, and when I knit with my Aunt Lisa, it was really cool because we got to talk about patterns, and like she likes doing 2 at a time socks, I like doing 1 at a time, so like that was really cool. But just meeting somebody that I feel like I'm already friends with, because of the podcast and just our interaction in general online, it was so cool. So Tabby, thank you so much for meeting up with me and messaging me and asking to hang out, because that made my week. But she was amazing and brought gifts. I only brought the yarn with me. This is my acquisition bag because I went to a fiber festival, so there's a decent amount. But yeah, so she brought me a skein of yarn. She also brought some stitch markers and the really, really cool needle things that she makes. Yeah, you guys, those needle things are a lifesaver. I left all of mine at home because they all have needles in them, but I need to get a million more because I need to organize them like that. I have an entire idea for I'm gonna do. Doug and I have a spare bedroom, so when I move in 2 months, because we get married in January, I'm looking this way because the room is right there. I already have an idea for how I'm gonna set up like my desk and my little workspace for I said Wool and Fine Yarns. Wool and Fine? I wish I was, but for stress knits, and so set it up for stress knits and set up some like knitty things that I know exactly how I want to do it, and these needle pockets are just perfect. But she brought me a skein of Hey Sister yarn, which, you guys, I was so bummed. I missed their first update, and since they're my friends, like I really wanted to support them, and their yarn is gorgeous. So this is the exact color that I was gonna get. This is the Leaf on the Wind on their Geronimo sock, which is an 80/20 because they know me so well. And it's just gorgeous. Look at all of those speckles. I'm in love. I almost put this in one of my new works in progress, but I think it needs to be a super special pair of socks that are my Tabby and Rachel socks. So yeah, Hey Sister Yarn Co. I love it. Yeah, so that was just really, really awesome, and this is so special to me. I also brought yarn for them, but I dyed it like 3 days before we met up, and I dyed it specifically for them, and it didn't dry in time. Like, I got here, and I was sitting there with a blow dryer. Doug was laughing at me because I was sitting there with a blow dryer, and I was like, it needs to be dry. Like, I need to bring this to them, so I'm just gonna send it in the mail today or tomorrow. So it's coming, ladies. Yeah, so thank you guys so much. Ugh, I am completely gushing over the entire experience. It was really cool. So there's one stash acquisition. I'll show you the rest when I talk about everything else after my works in progress. So the other thing I was working on when we were meeting was another Christmas sock. I thought this was going to be done, but then I got completely distracted by the next whip that I cast on. So I cast on with, this is also an acquisition, this is Legacy Fiber Arts, because I got some Legacy Fiber Arts. So Sue and Chelsea, Legacy Fiber Arts, LLC. Says, your father's on the naughty list. When they showed this off on their podcast, I missed the first update, and I was heartbroken because this is the exact color that I wanted. I think they did 2 elf updates, if I'm not mistaken. But then the second one, I was about a half hour late too. I was like, I'm just gonna check just in case there's this skein of yarn. And this was one of the last things in the shop. There were like 4 things in the shop, and this is one of them. So I had to. So I got it, and I balled it up because my ball winder and Swift were not near me. So I just balled it and knit most of a sock. So this is what it looks like, and it's stunning. Sue, if you're watching this, I don't know how you do it. This is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm so glad you started dyeing yarn, and I can't wait to see when Chelsea starts dyeing, because they're gorgeous. And I'm in love. It will not be my last skein of your yarn. No. So I knit the entire leg when I was hanging out with Tabby at Starbucks. This is actually not my usual vanilla sock. So I did my normal 2x2 rib 64 stitches, but instead of decreasing, I just kept it 64, did the heel flap and heel turn and everything, and then on the gussets I decreased down to 56 on both. So this whole part is 64, and then the foot is going to be 56, and I think that's going to fit me the best, because sometimes my my calf is a little too big for my socks. So there they are. I love them. And then I wanted to use a progress keeper, but I didn't have any in my bag, so Tabby gave me her little pineapple. So thanks, Tabby. And then these are on my Knitter's Pride Carvins US 1s 2.25 millimeter. Also, I feel like I'm fighting off a cold, so if I'm a little stuffy, I'm sorry. But or it's allergies. I can never tell this time of year. But yeah, so this is absolutely gorgeous. My Christmas pair number 2. There's one more skein of sock yarn that I feel like I need to get. Maybe 2, but 1 for sure, Christmas-wise. And it's Gingerbread House by Jinx Yarn. I need it. I think that's gonna happen. And if Kristen Vollenvine releases a new color and I love it, I might do that one also. Yeah, and I'm going to start dyeing up some Christmas yarn, so stay tuned for that. But I have one more work in progress. So, okay. I feel like this episode is horrible, so the 2 of you that are watching me right now, thank you. But in my Fawn and the Fox bag, which is my favorite bag of all time, I started an exploration station because I went to the Ann Arbor Fiber Expo, which is awesome. I went with Doug, and we saw a camel and some alpaca. We went on Sunday though, so I missed a lot of people, and I missed a lot of the animals, which was kind of sad, but it was still really cool to see a bunch of stuff in person. So I bought some stuff for my expiration station. Is this still attached? Yeah, okay. So, it is a 4-skein shawl, and I'll go through all the colors. So, color A, this is everything that's not Volenvine was an acquisition at the Fiber Festival. So, this is Fiber Story, who is a Michigan dyer. This is her fave sock in the mink colorway, which is gorgeous. I kind of want a sweater in it. There are these tonalities and speckles that you just can't see in this, but it's gorgeous and I love it. Neighbors came home. Yeah, so this is absolutely beautiful. This is color A. Color B is Volenvine Yarns in Succulents, which I love, and this is on her Blitz base. Color C is Volenvine Yarn and Venus Flytrap on her Volca base, which is her MCN. Excuse me. Yeah, so there's that. And then, sorry, it's like I'm back at college and people slamming doors. And then color D is Boho Chic Fiber Company. And I'm obsessed. I want everything that she dyes. She's also a Michigan dyer. She just moved to Grosse Point, or Grosse Seal, which is in the Detroit area. It's a little downriver from Detroit, right? It's a little south. I don't know. I've lived here my entire life and I don't know that area very well. Because once you get, well, I think it might be north, towards like Wind. Anyway. So this is Boho Chic Fiber. This is her singles base that she just did. I don't know where the tags went for this or Fiber Story. I'll find them. It'll be fine. But this is the lichen colorway. I think that's how you say it. And it's just this perfect gray with speckles of yellow and mint and blue and green. And it's gorgeous. She has the perfect color palette, so please check her out and support her because it's beautiful. And you all know how beautiful Fiber Story is already. So I finished the first section of my exploration station. It only took me like 2 days, and by 2 days I mean a few hours because I could not put this down. But I had to sleep at some point and go to work. So here it is. And it is on a needle that is way too small for it. But this is it. This is completely, the color palette is completely taken from Jacqueline of Brooklyn Knit Folk because, girl, you and your color palettes, I can't handle. So I had to take it because it's gorgeous. The way Jacqueline does color is so inspiring to me, and I can't handle it. Yeah, I'm in love. So there it is. I'm completely off number-wise, but you know what? I'm just gonna follow the pattern, and I'm a few stitches off, and by a few I mean like 4. But you know what? Looking at the pattern, it's not really gonna matter until the edging. So I'm just gonna fudge the edging and hope for the best. Because I am not really worried about it. So yes. Exploration Station, it's happening. This is a pattern by Stephen West, if you are unaware. It was a mystery knit along a few years ago. I love it. This is my first time doing an I-cord. I never want to do a shawl without an I-cord edging ever again because it's amazing. I don't know what that is. I just got a weird text message. Anyway, yeah, so I am obsessed with this. I might start the brioche today. I'm obsessed. So yeah, I have the brioche, the slip section, the just knit section, which is striped, and then the chevron edging left. And I'm obsessed, and ooh, I can't stop staring at this. And I did it so that Succulents and Venus Flytrap would be the brioche. And that is literally, I played around with which neutral I wanted for the edging, and I decided mink because I feel like it's gonna balance the shawl very well, because it's this beautiful like grayish, purplish, brownish color. It reminds me, I say this about a few colors, but if you've ever seen Lavender Tea by Jinx Yarn, it's almost identical. Like it's this weird color that I can't describe, and I'm obsessed with it. Whew, I keep dropping this, you guys. I need to eat something. Okay. Yeah, so I love it. I can't wait to just squish up in it. I think it's going to be gorgeous with everything this winter. I'm so excited. And then after I do this, I need to cast on my one sweat, because Tabby and Rachel, we need to knit them. I heard Rachel's is really far along, and I can't wait to see it on their podcast. But I need to do that. Okay, we're gonna do a whip update with some other stuff. So say goodbye to this gorgeous thing. Oh guys, I'm so obsessed with it. I love it so much. Okay, so a whip update. I have a few things that I really need to get done between now and the wedding. So I have just over 2 months. Yeah, so that's insane. I'm really excited. I just got my wedding band in the mail yesterday, and it's perfect. Because my ring, actually, I'm going to talk about all of that at the end of the episode, so if nobody really cares, you don't have to watch it. So let's go into acquisitions. So at the Fiber Festival, the first booth that I shopped at was the Spun Yarn Shop booth, which is a local yarn store in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So this is that bag. This is a store that I've wanted to go to forever because they have Brooklyn Tweed, which I am obsessed with Brooklyn Tweed. You'll see that in a second. Doug texted me to see how my morning's going. It's going well. I'll text you in a minute. Yeah, so they have Brooklyn Tweed. I thought they had more Quince & Company. I asked them at the booth how much, what bases of Quince & Co. that they carried, and they only carry the linen, which makes me sad because everybody around me that carries Quince & Company only carries linen, and I want Lark and Finch and Chickadee. But what can you do? So I'll just keep doing that online until somebody gets it. So I have Brooklyn Tweed and all the usual suspects, your Malabrigo, your Madeline Tosh, but then they also have indie dyers from the area, and I love this yarn store. The people, it was a man and a woman that were doing the booth, and they were the most pleasant human beings ever, and made my first yarn Fiber Festival Expo purchase perfect. So I only purchased one thing, but Doug also purchased something because his best friend and his best man lives in Alaska, and they've already had a lot of snow. So I promised Seth, our friend, that he needs a hat. He only has one, so Doug was like, pick out the yarn and I'll buy it. So I was like, okay. So I picked up Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in the Artifact colorway. So it's this beautiful green. So I did two because I'm just going to do the Pearl Soho Basic Beanie, which is what I knit for Doug all the time, and he loves it. So Seth really wanted a dark green hat. So there it is. Yeah, so I'll have to get this done before the wedding. Other than that, I love Brooklyn Tweed so much. I have so much Brooklyn Tweed in this bag. Yeah, so there is that. And then for me, I picked up Brooklyn Tweed Shelter as well, 2 skeins, because I think I'm going to make the fleece and sea hat out of this, because everybody's making one and I want to be like everybody else, right? And that hat is gorgeous. This is the Snowbound colorway. I was between this and Postcard because they're my 2 favorite colorways. Yeah, I also thought about Hayloft because I also love that colorway. But yeah, so this will be a nice little fleece and sea hat on my head. I kept doing this to be like, is this a good color for me? And Doug thought I was crazy, but isn't that what you do? You just put yarn on your head to see if it will look good as a hat. That's what I do. So fleece and sea hat, I'm really excited about it. Yeah. So that was my Brooklyn Tweed haul, but and that's actually all I bought at the Fiber Festival. It was the Brooklyn Tweed and the Fiber Story and Boho Chic Fiber Co. So I had some other Brooklyn Tweed on order because they came up with a new base. It is their Arbor base, and it is a DK weight. I think it is very similar to Quince & Co. Chickadee, and it feels a lot like Quince & Co. I'm not gonna lie. It is in a different mill than their usual one. It's not in Harrisville. And it's American Targhee, because this is Targhee in Columbia, and this is just Targhee. So I love this. It's very spongy and wonderful. So I got these 2 skeins. I don't know if I'm going to use this one yet, but these are supposed to be ties for the dads, my dad and Doug's dad, at our wedding. So I'm knitting them the Susan B. Anderson wedding tie pattern that she did for her son. And so this is the Degas colorway, which how could I not, because Degas is my favorite painter. And it's like this pinky champagne-y color. So I think this actually might be that, because that is the color that my bridesmaids are wearing. It's like a blushy champagne color. And then this is the Heron colorway, or Huron. It should be Huron. Part of me thinks it's Huron just because it's called Arbor, so I just think everything's involved with Michigan, which makes no sense. Yeah, so this will be Doug's dad's tie. This will be my dad's tie. And it'll be super cute, and I'm excited about it. So there is that. That's all of my Brooklyn Tweed. And then I got 2 other skeins. So I'll leave one for last. So I got a skein of Volenvine because a wonderful viewer of the podcast told me that she had this colorway that I've been searching for. I haven't looked at this in a long time, and it's, oh gosh, it's so pretty. So I've been looking for the Je ne sais quoi colorway, and she said that she had it and she didn't really know what she was going to use it for, so if I wanted to do a yarn trade, she would love that. So I dyed up a skein of If Autumn Were an Extrovert in my yarn. It's right there. It's finally dry and ready to go, so I'm going to ship that out today or tomorrow. But she gave me this. So this is Volenvine Yarns, my favorite, in the Je ne sais quoi colorway on her blitzed base. So it's absolutely beautiful, because everything Kristen does is perfect. So there is that. And then last but not least, I got a bucket list yarn, you guys. I did not get it on a D-stash, which is shocking. But I was perusing, oh, what's the shop called? It's the one that Kemper from Junk Yarn told us about on her podcast that she goes to a lot in North Carolina. Warm and Fuzzy, I think that's what it's called. They have an online shop. They carry Life in the Long Grass. If you've been a viewer of this podcast for a while, you will know I've wanted rose hip forever. And so I always look because they have Life in the Long Grass, and they always have pictures of what they have in stock on the side, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna scroll through it. And I scrolled through it and I came up to rose hip, and they had like 6 in stock, and I was like, I need it, so I bought it. So Life in the Long Grass. Yeah, hand-dyed in Ireland. It is their fine sock base, so 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 460 yards in the rosehip colorway. So I finally got it, and I love it, and I'm so glad that I have it. So, you know, no regrets at all. So that is my little, oh, I have one more thing. It wasn't in the bag. So I caught, while I was with Tabby, I caught the Tuft Woolens update for the apple picking kit. This is my first kit ever. I love everything, and I love apples, so I had to. So this is the bag by Freckle Whimsy, and it's so cute. This apple fabric is everything to me, and then the gray is just, it's perfect. So there's the bag that came in the kit. That has this beautiful purple lining. And then in the kit you get the hand balm and the lavender apple scent, which are my two favorite. There's only one scent that is above apple and lavender, and that is rose. When she does a rose thing, I'm gonna freak out. But it smells more like apple than anything, but it smells so good. So she still has some of this in her shop, so get some. This is the wool wash, and this is the luxury bath bar, which is, look how pretty that is. So apple, lavender, lavender apple, it's lavender apple. So lavender apple Tuft Woolens things, and the package in the bag just smells so good. And then a skein of Mustache Perfect Sock, her must match skeins, so they're two perfectly matched skeins, so I can have matching socks. And this is in the apple picking colorway, so it will look like that when it knits up. So it's this very like autumnal rainbowy kind of thing with this like gray white sky, and I love it so much. I can't wait to knit these up. I think I'm going to use Susan B. Anderson's smooth operator sock pattern for these because I feel like they just go very well together. So I'm so excited about that. I was over the moon that I got one of these. So there is my apple picking kit, and I love it so much. I'm gonna use this bag for everything. Yeah, so that is all for stash enhancement. I'm going to talk about stuff that I need to get done between now and the wedding, and just some life stuff. So if you're not interested in that, thank you for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Yeah, so I have a lot of knitting to do for the wedding. So I have my bridesmaids' hats that I need to do, but I only need to do 3 more. So that's good. I need to finish my mom's shawl, which is the Pure Joy. I did another wedge, but I don't feel like showing that until it's closer to being done. So that's coming. My wedding shawl, I am actually at the edging. I only did 2 repeats of the lace instead of the 4 that my size called for. So I'm just on the edging. So I'm almost done with that. The 2 ties for my dad's. Doug, if he wants a tie. Yeah. And possibly a shawl for his mom. So that's a lot of knitting. And I'm very not motivated to do it because my knitting time is very scarce. And when I can knit, I want to knit on things that I want to knit for myself. So it's very difficult. So I need to cast on another hat. I need to finish my wedding shawl. I need to finish my mom's wedding shawl. I need to start with the ties. It's a little stressful, but it's good. And my wedding band came in the mail. So my ring is inspired by 1920s architecture because I'm kind of an architecture nerd. I almost went into architecture. Yeah, I almost went into architecture. And I'm kind of sad that I didn't sometimes. But Art Deco architecture is my favorite thing in the entire world, so obviously the Chrysler Building is kind of the pinnacle of Art Deco design, that and the Empire State Building, but I think the Chrysler Building encompasses it much more, just because of the beautiful metal roof. Anyway, so my ring is, I'm going to take it off and show you, is very, it's very structured, and it's very, it's unique. It's very unique. Doug kind of designed it himself, and it's perfect. But it was a chore to find a wedding band, so nothing that I liked went with it. A lot of stuff took away from it, or just like wasn't enough with it, and it was so hard. But we found this place online and ordered it, and it's perfect. It's a very thin band, and it has just like these little clusters on it, and it's gorgeous, and I can't wait to show it to you in January when I get to wear it all the time. So that's really exciting. His wedding bands are coming. He ordered 2. One of them has concrete in it, which is the coolest thing ever, and one of them's wood. Wedding planning is insane. Yeah, but it's so much fun and worth it. So yeah, so with that, I think that's gonna be it. I'm going to start dyeing up some Christmas colorways and some winter colorways that I've had in my mind for a while. I'm going to be putting out the last installment of the Gilmore Girls Yarn Club in the next few weeks. It's probably not going to be at the beginning of November just because of my schedule, but it's coming. It'll be out before December. That's really the only promise I can make right now, because I'm still trying to make sure that I'm doing exactly what I want to do for the last one, because I'm so proud of the world of books that I created last time, that I want it to be the perfect ending to the Yarn Club. So thank you for your patience. I mean, it's still October, so it's not like it's middle of November and I'm like, no, it's coming. But it's coming. I have like 4 ideas. So I'm gonna test some things out, see how I like them, and then dye the 10 skeins for the club. So I'm doing that. Also, there might be some skeins popped into the shop every now and then. I have 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because those are all going out. Yeah. Okay, so I have 5 skeins of yarn that I need to just pop into the shop. So, yeah, I can't wait to dye more. So, more on that coming soon, maybe, hopefully. But yeah, so it is longer than I expected this to be. So I will talk to you when I can. And I hope you guys have a wonderful and knitty week. And I'll see you later. Bye.